other motivations. And so we've gotten a little wise to that because, like I said, YouTube tells us the times the comments are coming. And when I'll have 3 or 4 10, 15-minute videos that are being commented all within like a 5-minute span, then I know these people are not really watching the video.
Hey designers, and happy Monday! You know what that means. Go grab your favorite cup of hot cocoa, a few of your favorite cookies, pull up a chair, and sit and chat with me a while in today's episode of Cocoa and Cookies. Well, good morning, everybody. Can you believe I actually have hot cocoa today? And let me go ahead and show you the mug. You guys will remember this from a recent gift opening, friend mail opening. This came to me from Christine. Thank you so much, Christine. I absolutely love my mug. And today, I don't have cookies, but I do have some of these delicious chocolate-covered peanut butter things that I showed y'all over the weekend in the vlog. So if you've been following the vlog, then you know we got those at our Christmas party, and they are very delicious. So that's what I'm going to have today instead of a cookie. What about you guys? Are you drinking your cocoa and having your cookies while you watch this? Drinking coffee? Just water? Maybe you're a little more healthy and are chewing on a carrot stick. Whatever it is, as long as we are together, right, you guys? So I'm doing cocoa and cookies just a little bit different today. You guys know that we have tried to go Facebook Live with cocoa and cookies. I've been talking about that for months because I wanted to be able to answer your questions real time on YouTube Live, but I haven't been able to figure out the YouTube Live. Like, we know how to get to it and we've done some test runs, but we can't sync the internet speed with the video, and so it looks kind of like an old bad movie from way back where the words don't quite line up with the mouth movement. Does that make sense? So we haven't been able to do that yet, or kind of figured out. Still got to do some research on the best way to do that. And we tried to do the Periscope thing, but not enough of you had Periscope and you weren't able to get on there, so that kind of didn't work out. I've thought about adding the Facebook Live and try to do it that way because I think more of you have Facebook than have Periscope, but still not sure about that one. Might eventually add that. I'd really rather get the YouTube Live going, so I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, today, this morning, I posted a call for questions on my Facebook page, as well as my Twitter and my Instagram for the DeeVine DeeZine account, and told you guys that any questions that came in between 1:30 and 2 today, I would be answering live. Like it's live happening now, but of course you guys won't see it until it's posted on YouTube just a little bit later today. But I thought that would be fun. That gives you a way to interact with me through the cocoa and cookies and maybe find out a few more things that you wanted to know. Some weeks we'll do it to where you guys can give me maybe a topic of discussion that we can talk about, because that's really what I like about cocoa and cookies, is just giving you my perspective and my thoughts on things that are happening, whether personally, locally, or globally. A lot of things happening in this world, and sometimes it's good just to talk about it, right? So we're going to get started. I've got my computer sitting here, and of course I have my phone. So we're going to check Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and we're just going to go through all the venues for the next few minutes and see what kind of questions might have come in. So let's just hop on over here. Let me go check Twitter first and we'll see. I don't really have necessarily a huge Twitter following, so might not get any tweets coming in. All we can do is just check and see. So let's go over there. All right, nothing on Twitter yet. Don't have anything on Twitter. So let's go and see if anything has come in through Instagram. Several hearts on the post, but not actually any questions over there either. So let's go on and jump to Facebook, and we'll keep coming back and checking all those intermittently to see. I kind of got the call for questions out a little late because I didn't have that idea till late. So not enough people might have had enough pre-warning. But let's see here on Facebook. It's having a hard time loading up this morning. All right, definitely have some questions on Facebook. So let's see, we'll go ahead and start answering some of these. And then as we need to, I'll keep checking on the other outlets. So hopefully there'll be some more questions come in over there as well. All right, just gonna run down the list here and answer these. First question is, what is your typical schedule like during the week? Chaos. That's the only way I know how to describe it. If you guys follow along with any of the vlog months, we've done Vlogust. Last year we did Vlogtober and Vlogmas. This year we also threw in Vlogust. So you guys have watched us throughout the year. You've seen us go on a few trips that we've been on. We took you to Tallahassee with us. We've taken you to Kentucky. We've taken you down to Orlando. So you guys have been with us a lot of places throughout the year to kind of watch and see. You guys know we are extremely busy. There's not really, I wouldn't necessarily say there's a set schedule where like every Monday is the same or every Tuesday is the same. We're not quite that scheduled around here because, you know, it is real life and really you just never know from day to day. I can tell you a consistent thing is that Cocoa and Cookies is filmed every Monday, not at necessarily a set time, just depends on how the day goes. And Transformation Tuesday, I usually film on Tuesdays. Our Worth the Buck videos, we film on Wednesdays. And then just whatever else happens to work in that. Our family schedule is kind of set every afternoon because my son has soccer practice just about every day, and that's always at a set time. And of course my husband works. His schedule is always the same. But as far as, like, I know someone has asked me before, like, do I do laundry at the same time every week? Do I have a cleaning schedule where I clean certain rooms and all this? And no, I don't. I've seen all those. I know about, you know, the whole zone cleaning and doing a certain room every day of the week and all that stuff. I don't do that around here. If something needs to be cleaned, I clean it and just go with it that way. I'm not quite that structured. That's a little too structured for me. But anyway, that's our typical schedule is just chaos. That's the only thing I know to say about that one. All right, let's see here. Another question. Do people from your church watch your YouTube videos? That's a great question. Yes, some of the people in our church do watch the YouTube videos. I actually have 2 channels. Most of you are aware of that. My second channel, which is just Dina Rose, my name, is where I do all of our ministry related stuff, such as when I speak publicly somewhere, if I have that sermon recorded, that will go up on that channel. I do try to get daily devotions out for you guys, but for the last couple of weeks, we have not had an evening for me to sit down and film the devotions. You've been following with us through Vlogmas. You know we've been extremely busy. So I don't have the devotionals for like the last 2 weeks. It might even be 3 weeks now, but hopefully this week looks a little slower and I might finally have an opportunity to sit down and film those. And then also, like over this past weekend, I did a dramatization of Mary's story, the Christmas story through Mary's eyes, and that's over there as well. A lot of the ones from our church will watch that channel because they enjoy the devotionals and stuff like that. But there are a few who do like the stuff that's over here on DeeVine DeeZine, and they watch it as well. I definitely don't keep it a secret. I post links to my videos on all my social media, and so yeah, family, friends, people from the church, everybody knows that I do it, and they do watch. So very curious, like what you guys think about, like what was the motivation for that question would be my question back to you. Let's see what else that she has here. Have you ever envied someone else? Well, I think we probably all have, haven't we? I don't think that there's one of us alive that could say we've never envied someone. I just don't even know that we would be human if we never did. I think that temptation probably comes to all of us. So yeah, there have been times that I have been guilty of envy for sure. Going over here to check Instagram real quick and see if any questions have come in there. Let's see. Not seeing any yet on Instagram. Let's go ahead and check Twitter. I'm just going to keep jumping back and forth to make sure that all of the questions are answered today. Nothing on Twitter yet either. So let's go back to Facebook because there are several questions here. Let's see. What haven't I answered yet? Has anyone ever noticed you in public from your YouTube videos? Yes and no. I had a lady comment on a video once that she thought she had recognized me in a Publix store, but she wasn't, I guess, 100% sure if it was me. So she didn't come up and talk to me or anything like that, but she did comment later on wanting to know, was it me? And yes, it actually, in fact, was me. So that's the only one that I'm aware of people that have noticed me in public. Let me refresh this screen. See if any other questions have come in. I enjoy answering you guys' questions, finding out what you guys want to know about us. That's always interesting to me. All right, so let's see here what else we have. Do you hope to have grandkids someday? Absolutely. Yes, I can't wait till my children start having children of their own and the family expands. I think that will be a lot of fun. Do you make good money doing YouTube? Well, here's the deal on that question. In the YouTube license and agreements, we're not allowed to talk specifically about how much money that we make and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of against their ethical standards. But I will tell you this, it's not really. Let me just put it that way. No, and not really. I don't have a very large channel, and so even though it may seem like I have a decent subscriber account, the views that are watched every day is not really extremely high, not according to the amount of subs that I have. And I've been trying to figure that one out because people are subscribing, but they're not really watching. So this leads me to a good place to ask you guys, like, what are you here for? What kind of things do you enjoy seeing the most? What kind of content on the channel is your favorite? Because obviously not everyone likes everything that is put out there, and I'm trying to figure out what you guys like the most. Another thing that helps YouTubers is not necessarily you clicking on a video, because I will have people click on videos quite often that I know are only watching 1 or 2 minutes because they will comment back to back on several videos in a row, because YouTube gives us real-time comments as they're coming in, and it also gives us the time that they're coming in. And so I'll have someone comment on a 16-minute video and they'll say, oh, great video, I'm really enjoying this, blah, 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 blah. 2 minutes later, they're commenting on another video that may be 10 minutes long, so I know they didn't watch the whole video. And then within another minute, they may be commenting on a third one, so I know that they're not really watching the videos. They may be clicking on them long enough to comment, and they may be clicking on them long enough to watch the first couple of minutes, but they're not watching the whole thing. And I haven't figured that one out. It kind of has me a little confused, because some of you know that in the past when we've done our vlog months, we have given out thank yous to people who watch and comment a lot, because it means a lot to us. You guys spend your time, first of all, watching the videos, and then when you take time to actually comment to let us know something in the video that might have resonated with you, or something you thought was cute or whatever, that means a lot to us, because we all love it. I'll read the comments out loud to the family, and we enjoy hearing your thoughts, and we're appreciative of that. So when the vlog months are over, in the past we have done some thank yous and shout outs and that kind of stuff, and I think some people have been aware of that and have taken advantage of that, and they comment not necessarily because they really enjoy the content now, but some of them, not all, but a few of them are commenting because they either want the shout out from me, or they want an opportunity to win a prize, or other motivations. And so we've gotten a little wise to that because, like I said, YouTube tells us the times the comments are coming. And when I'll have 3 or 4 10, 15-minute videos that are being commented all within like a 5-minute span, then I know these people are not really watching the video. And it's not the comments and the clicks onto the videos that help YouTubers. It's the actual watch time minutes. So if I have a 10-minute video and someone clicks to that and they're only watching, say, 1 minute of it, then what YouTube, the algorithms and their studies show them as, okay, this person put up a 10-minute video, but it obviously was no good because people are clicking back off after 1 minute. They're not watching it. And so then YouTube, it reads my videos as low quality, low content, and not a good channel. It rates your channels. Does that make sense to you? If I have a video that's 10 minutes long and people actually watch it for 10 minutes, then YouTube says, wow, she must be really interesting because people are actually watching her video. So that's kind of how the whole thing works there. And so because of that, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that the money that I generate from YouTube is very good at all. No. All right, let me hop back on over here to Twitter and Instagram and see if anything's come over on either of those yet. I don't really use Twitter a whole lot. And so people are probably not used to being on that venue. Let's check over here on Instagram. And not seeing any questions there either. So let's go on back to Facebook and let's see what time it is. All right, we've got a couple more minutes here. Let's see what we got here. Got to see what ones I've already answered. What is your favorite restaurant to eat at? And have you ever been to New York City? Yes, we have been to New York City. Absolutely loved it. Had a fantastic time while we were there. We were able to spend 2.5 days in New York and loved every single minute of it and hope to get back there soon. All of us, the whole family, would love to go back and see the city again. And my favorite restaurant, I'm going to have to say probably my favorite restaurant to eat at is Outback Steakhouse. I love a good steak. Absolutely love it. And Outback steaks are so good, you don't even have to have steak sauce to make it good. Does that make sense? You can have a steak, and if you have to put like A1 or Heinz 57 or Worcestershire sauce, whatever your favorite steak sauce, Lee and Perrins, there's all kind of steak sauces. If you have to use a steak sauce to make the steak flavorful, then it's not a good steak. You know you have a good steak when you can just bite into it and it be nice and juicy and flavorful just all on its own. And so far, that's probably the place that I like to get my steaks at the best. Although Longhorn is a very close second. And the last couple times I've been to Longhorn, they've even stepped up their game more. So I don't know, it might be kind of neck and neck between those two right now. All right, let's see what else has been asked here. What does your link on YouTube mean, the Ghostbuster Dina? I know that Dina is your name, but what about the Ghostbuster part? Okay, that is a great question. It seems like I may have had that question before, but it's been a while. That's on youtube.com/GhostbusterDina is my actual URL, and that's also my personal URL on Facebook and Instagram. I go by Ghostbuster Dina, and this is why. You guys know that I am an ordained minister, and part of the ministry for me and dealing with people is seeing them set free from demonic bondage in their lives. And I know a lot of you probably don't believe in all that stuff and all that, but we absolutely do. We believe in that, and that's part of how we minister to people. And so I tried to get like demon buster, demon hunter, it's something to do with demon, but at the time all of those URLs were already taken. Come to find out, there is a band by the name of Demon Hunter. I think Demon Hunter was the one. I think that there is a music band by that name, and so everybody already had those. So the next best thing for us was Ghostbuster. Not after the movie, but after the ministry aspect of what I do. So great question. That's where that comes from. what is your middle name? My middle name is Lee. I think that I may have kind of told that story a little bit in one of the Q&As that I had. When I was born, I was going to be a junior, named after my dad, but obviously I came out a girl. So mom didn't name me after dad as far as the first name, but she did give me his middle name. So my name is Dina Lee. All right, let's see. And that is spelled L-E-E, like the masculine way, not L-E-I-G-H, the feminine way. All right, so let's see what else we have here. Did you want more than 2 kids? Yes, I did want more than 2 kids. I really wanted 4. That was what my heart was set on when I was younger. And all of you guys know that when I got pregnant with my daughter, my boss let me go because he knew that my intention after I had her was to stay home. I wanted to be an at-home mom. That was my goal. And one of the reasons why we waited, we had been married 9 years by the time we had her. And we waited long enough to where we were financially in a place that I could be home. If I was going to have children, I wanted to raise them. I didn't want someone else doing that for me. So when he found out I was pregnant and he asked the question, do you plan to come back to work once the baby is born? I was honest and upfront with him and said, no, sir, my goal is to be home to raise my family. And he fired me the end of that week and told me, just don't come back if you don't plan on coming back. Now I was only like 3 months pregnant at the time, still could have put in a good 6 months worth of work, but that's just kind of the man he was who I worked for there. So I wanted 4. But finances just, when you pay for the hospital bill to have the children, your doctor's fees and all that, and then even though we nursed our children and there wasn't a huge expense right away as far as that was concerned, we didn't have to buy formula and all that stuff, it still was an added expense with diapers and clothing, and you have to take them for their well visits and getting their shots and that kind of stuff. And it really just became a point to where on my husband's salary alone, we knew we wouldn't be able to effectively rear all 4 of them, not on the salary that he had, if that makes sense to you. So we decided after the second one that we just wouldn't pursue that. Later on, it's interesting because when the kids got a little bit older, we were doing a little better financially. My husband had gotten a promotion by that time, and he did have a better income, and he had tossed around the idea of going ahead and having another child. But for me at that point, I was 27 when my first child was born, 29 when the second one was born. So you can imagine by the time that he was about 6 years old and we were financially stable enough to think about more kids, I could not, in my mind, settle that yes, I want to do this again, because now I was already 35, 36 years old. I was getting older. And you ladies know, when you're starting to get a little older, you can just tell, and your energy doesn't last as long. And, I know that people have babies up into their 40s now, and it seems to be a real common thing to do. But 17 years ago, it was a lot less common. And not only that, but having children changes your life dramatically. And every minute of every day, if you're a good mother anyway, you are doting on your children. You're watching them, making sure they're okay, planning activities and keeping them busy. By this time, we were already homeschooling both of the kids as well. And so my days were very busy with that when they were small. And to think of having another infant and starting all over. I mean, my kids had just finally gotten to the point where they could dress themselves, pick out their own clothes. My daughter was old enough that she could warm her something up in the microwave if she wanted to, and they knew how to use the toaster. And it's like you began having a little bit of your life back, if that kind of makes sense. And I know that probably sounds extremely selfish, like, oh, now you got to go back to having an infant again and starting all over. Had we stayed in the swing of it, then it would have been easy to do and you just slide right into it. But it's like once you lose all of your independence and then you start to gain a little bit of it back and you're in your mid-30s and you're quickly approaching 40, no, by that point I was like, I really don't want to start over, because the kids would have been about 6 and 8, which would have made them 7 and 9 when the new baby came along. They wouldn't have had any interest in a little baby. And then you would have had a little baby that practically would have been an only child, which I didn't think would have been very fair to that baby either, you know? So a lot of thought went into that. Did want 4, but that didn't work out. All right, and we have time for one last question for today. There's actually several questions on this thread, and maybe we'll be able to answer those in a future one. I will be calling for Q&A questions probably every week, or at least every other week. We may start doing the format like this. I'm going to check Instagram and Twitter again just real quick to see if anything's come in over there. And then I'll answer this last one from Facebook. Don't have any more on Twitter or Instagram. So let me just go ahead and answer this last one on Facebook for today. You guys be watching, be thinking of your questions or be thinking of topics, because if you are enjoying the Cocoa and Cookies and watching them every week, then you probably have things you want to hear me put out. So be thinking about that. We're going to use the hashtag #DeeVine every week. So if you think of something and it's not on Monday, but you want to hurry up and tweet me, or you want to hurry up and put it on Instagram, then go ahead and find the picture from today and you can comment it on this picture and I'll find it before next week. But the last question that we'll answer for today: how did you come up with the name DeeVine DeeZine? That's a great question. My friends, Mo and Evie and Pam and Lori and Charlotte all helped me come up with the name for DeeVine DeeZine. So shout out to my girls. We got to know each other through Sensational gel polish. I was an ambassador for Sensational for a little while there, but before I even became an ambassador for them, the girls and I met on the Sensational Facebook page, and we kind of would ask questions for Sensational or post pictures of our nails or whatever, and us ladies became very close that way. So we had formed our own little connection group on Facebook, and we're talking all the time. We haven't talked a lot lately because we've all been so busy. I miss my girls. So if you're watching, ladies, we need to get back to some late night conversations. But anyway, whenever Mo had suggested to me to do some of my nail art designs on YouTube, and I had never thought about it up till then. I had already had my YouTube channel for things that we were doing for the ministry, but never had thought about doing it for my nails. So that's how that started. It's really how this channel got kicked off and going. And so I told her, I says, well, if I'm going to do some of these tutorials, I really need a name. I said, so ladies, help me come up with a name. And we all tossed out a couple different things. And I can't remember exactly how I wanted to go with something about divine, because obviously a heavenly inspiration, and I had already tried to start a website for my poetry and had that name in it, divine, and we all just were throwing it around. So how the actual final name of DeeVine DeeZine came up, I'm not sure, but it was Mo who suggested that I spell it the D-E-E because my name is Dina, D-E-E. And I thought, oh, that is so catchy, DeeVine DeeZine, and we'll play it off of the name. So that's kind of how all that came up. So Miss Mo was a huge instrument in that, and so were all the other ladies who tried to help me come up with the name. And that was so fun. That was like 2012 that all that happened. So good memories. Great question. But I think we're going to leave it there for today, because this has been at least 30 minutes. I know this is going to be a long video here. Remember, if during the week you have some questions, either jot them down and you can respond them to me next Monday morning when you see the call for questions go up, or you can go ahead and send them to me during the week and I'll just keep a track of those. And unless something major happens to where I take Cocoa and Cookies in a different direction, we'll try to stay with this format for the next few weeks and see how it happens, how it works out, until we can figure out YouTube Live. So, thank you very much for the questions that did come in. If those of you missed this and now you're kicking yourselves, it's all right, don't worry. We'll be back next week and you can get your questions in then. All right, I want to thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Cocoa and Cookies, and I will see you very soon in the next video.